What would change if you had a little space to breathe? What would feel different if for just a little while you were not the one managing everyone else's emotions, needs, schedules, and struggles? What if you could step away from the chaos long enough to hear yourself think again, remember what matters, and maybe even come home with renewed hope? In today's episode, we're talking about what can happen when a parent gets the support they need and why taking time away is not selfish. In fact, it may be one of the most loving and necessary things you can do for your family. Are you overwhelmed by constant meltdowns, defiance, or challenging behaviors? Are you longing for peace in your home? You're in the right spot. I'm Jami, mom of 7, counselor, parent coach, and wrangler of big emotions. I've learned how to calm the chaos and build connection, even when things feel like they're falling apart. If you're looking to connect with your child, find effective parenting tools that honor your family values, and understand your child's unique wiring, you found it here. So pour that coffee, find a quiet spot if you have one of those in your house, and let's get started. Welcome back. Today we're talking about something that many parents struggle through quietly. Is it selfish for me to take a break when parenting a child with big needs? Maybe a child with ADHD, DMDD, big emotions, emotional dysregulation, or challenging behaviors. And I know that question can feel complicated because when your child needs extra support, extra understanding, extra patience, extra tools, and extra advocacy, it can feel hard to step away. You might know you need support, but still feel guilty receiving it. You may know you're tired, but still tell yourself to just keep pushing. You may know you need space to breathe, but still wonder if taking time away means you're unavailable, selfish, or somehow missing moments that you shouldn't be missing. I understand that feeling. There was a time when I struggled with that idea of being away from my kids, even for something good. I would think, is this time lost? Is this time I cannot get back? And while I deeply value time with my family, I've also learned something really important. Sometimes stepping away for a little breath of fresh air and focus allows you to come back more present, more focused, more invested, and more confident in what you bring to the table. You might call that a pretty good return on investment, right? Because support does not pull you away from your family when it helps you return with more of who you really are and more of the parent you really want to be. And that is what I want to talk about today. What happens when parents are supported, rested, encouraged, and given space to reconnect with the life, passion, gifts, and purpose that still exist inside of her or of him? Because this really translates into parents that are dads and moms. We all know stress has a way of dampening those things. When you've been living in constant problem-solving mode, when your days are filled with emotional intensity, school concerns, appointments, behavior struggles, siblings' needs, and the weight of holding everything together, it can start to feel like parts of you are getting buried. Not gone, not lost forever, but maybe dampened, hampered, or covered by the stress of survival. And sometimes what a parent needs is not a complete life overhaul. Sometimes they just need calm and clarity, because calm and clarity help you draw again on who you were created to be, who you still are, and the strengths and gifts that may have gotten pushed to the background for some time. The first thing I want you to know is this: supported parents parent from more clarity and calm. When you're overwhelmed, everything feels tougher. The behavior feels louder. The decisions feel heavier. The future feels scarier. The daily frustrations feel more personal. And sometimes even small things can feel like just one more thing you cannot handle. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means your system is overloaded. When a parent is unsupported, they can start reacting from depletion instead of responding from clarity. You might know what to do, but not have the capacity to do it. You might know the tools, but struggle to use them. You might understand your child needs compassion, but feel too exhausted to access it in the moment. But support changes that. Not because support magically makes parenting easy, not because a coaching session, a retreat, or a conversation with another parent makes the hard parts disappear, but because support gives you room to breathe, think, and come back to yourself. I remember going to a writer's conference once, and it gave me space to plug back into a gift I had put on hold for some time. It reminded me that there were still parts of me beyond the daily demands. Another time, I went to a ladies' retreat for entrepreneurs. At first, I was nervous. Now, you might laugh at this, but honestly, the thought of that many women together felt a little bit daunting because, sometimes women can be maybe a little tough when you get that many all together. But honestly, it ended up being a really meaningful experience. It helped me see that there were other people doing things similar to what I was doing in the online space, even though I didn't personally have friends nearby who were doing the same kind of work. It helped me make connections with people who understood a piece of my world. It helped me feel less alone. And it gave me somewhere to turn on the days when I felt like I was on the island. That is what the right support can do. It doesn't replace your family. It doesn't take away your responsibilities. It doesn't change everything overnight. But it helps give you perspective. It reminds you that you're not the only one. It creates space for you to think, breathe, and return with more clarity. The second thing I want to talk about is this. Rest can help parents reconnect with themselves, with their purpose, and for some, even God. I know not every parent listening may describe this the same way, but for me, faith was a big part of my journey. It anchors me. It reminds me of truth when life feels loud. But even if you would not use the same exact words, I think many parents understand what it feels like to need something deeper than a nap. Sometimes we need soul rest. We need to remember what matters. We need to be encouraged emotionally and spiritually. We need to reconnect with our purpose and our calling. We need to be reminded that we are not the only person who manages meltdowns, schedules appointments, tracks behaviors, packs lunches, sends emails, and keeps all the parts moving. We are whole people. We have gifts. We have personalities. We have strengths and passions. We have things that make us laugh. We have things that make us feel alive. We have parts of ourselves that may have gotten quiet under the pressure, but I want to assure you they are still there. And when you're raising a highly emotional, highly sensitive, neurodivergent, or struggling child, you may live with a level of hypervigilance that other people just simply don't understand. You are often watching, listening, preparing, adjusting, and anticipating. You might feel like you're just on alert so much that you forget what it feels like to not be on alert. So sometimes a restorative space matters. A space where you don't have to be polished. A space where you don't have to perform. A space where you do not have to be the one managing anyone else. A space where you can go to be cared for, encouraged, and maybe even a little pampered. And I want to pause here and speak to the mom who might be wondering, is this selfish? And maybe even some of you dads struggle with that same thing. Is it selfish for me to get a little break? Is it selfish to take a break when my child needs so much? Is it selfish to step away when there are already so many appointments, needs, behaviors, emotions, and struggles to manage? Is it selfish to invest in support for myself when my child is the one who needs help? And I want to say no, it's not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. In fact, it's essential. And I know that phrase can sometimes sound like something cute that people just put on a coffee mug, but I mean it in a much deeper way. Self-care is one of the ways that we steward the resources God's given us, our time, our energy, our effort, our emotions, our body, our mind, and our capacity to love and to lead our families well. God's given us these children and we want to parent them well to the best of our ability. But if we're constantly depleted, running on fumes, never taking time to be strengthened, encouraged, or restored, we're not going to be able to parent with the same calm, clarity, wisdom, and intention. Taking care of yourself does not mean you are choosing yourself instead of your child. It means you are caring for the person who is called to parent your child. And that matters. That's you. Self-care is not selfish. It is necessary for every parent. And it becomes even more important when you are parenting a child who needs extra support, extra understanding, extra patience, and extra special tools. This is something I honestly have a passion to help parents understand. And it's part of the heart behind our upcoming Moms Retreat called It Is Well, Finding Your Calm in the Chaos. I want this retreat to be a place where moms feel cared about, where there are fun activities, coaching sessions, smaller group conversations, personal reflection, laughter, listening, and real connection. I want there to be enough structure to feel meaningful, but enough free time that moms can choose what they need. Because some moms will want conversation and connection. Some will want to join activities. Some will simply need some quiet moments alone to rest and regroup. And let me tell you this, because I'm a personality trainer, I care about creating a schedule that honors all the different personalities and all the different ways that moms choose to refuel. At this retreat, there will be time to laugh, time to share, time to listen, time to care, time to learn, time to breathe, and simply rest. And yes, there will also be some fun things like a dirty soda bar, a lemonade bar, a cocoa bar, delicious meals you don't have to fix, a fun little mountain trip, some fun activities, and time to simply relax. Because getting refreshed does not have to be heavy. Feeling refreshed might look like honest conversation. Sometimes it looks like quiet reflection. Sometimes it looks like laughing with women who get it. Sometimes it looks like drinking that fun little drink and eating the meal you didn't have to cook, or realizing you have not had to carry the details for the day. The third thing I want you to know is this: a retreat can be a turning point, not because life becomes perfect, but because a parent who returns home from them can feel renewed. And that is important. I'm not promising that you come home from a retreat and that every hard behavior disappears. I'm not promising that your child's needs suddenly vanish. I'm not promising that every school issue simply resolves, every sibling dynamic shifts, or that every hard day becomes easy. That just wouldn't be honest. But I do believe a retreat can be a real turning point, because sometimes the turning point is not that life gets easier. Sometimes the turning point is that you come home with more of yourself available, more calm, more clarity, more perspective, more confidence, more encouragement, more tools, more connection, more hope. And when parents can change the way they're carrying the load, the whole family can feel the shift. Sometimes taking away helps you become more present, more focused, more invested, more confident in what you bring to the table. It can help you remember that you're not just surviving a hard season. You're still a person and a parent with strengths, gifts, wisdom, calling, and purpose. And this is where I want to speak again to the parent who feels guilty even considering something like this. Taking time away does not mean you love your family less. It does not mean you're abandoning your responsibilities. It doesn't mean you're choosing yourself over your child. Sometimes taking time away is one of the ways you choose your family well, because you are a part of the family too. Your calm matters. Your clarity matters. Your health matters. Your joy matters. Your ability to parent with intention and purpose matters. And if you're constantly pouring out without ever feeling replenished, eventually everyone feels the cost. So if your heart is whispering, I think I need this, I want to personally invite you to join me for the Calm Connection Parenting Moms Retreat. Again, it's called It Is Well, Finding Your Calm in the Chaos. This retreat was created for the mom raising an emotionally intense, uniquely wired, neurodivergent, or struggling child. The mom who loves her family deeply, but feels overwhelmed and tired from holding so much together. This retreat is happening August 27th through the 31st in Loveland, Colorado. We have 3 full days of programming, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You arrive Thursday night and leave first thing Monday morning. Lodging, food, drinks, snacks, activities, outings, and special care elements are included. You only need to take care of your travel, 1 meal out, and any personal spending money in addition to the registration fee. It's essentially an intentionally small and personal getaway because I want moms to feel known, not lost in a crowd. This is your chance to step away, to be encouraged, connect with other moms who understand, receive practical tools, and return home with renewed hope and a calmer heart. Early bird pricing may be ending soon, payment plans are available, and there's a scholarship application for moms who would like to be considered for a partial scholarship. A few spots are still available, but they're filling. And I want to let you know, if you invite a friend who registers for the retreat, you can receive $100 off of your own registration fee. You can learn more, apply for the scholarship, or just simply register to be a part of this event at calmconnectionparent.com/retreat 2026. So here's your quick win for this week. Go look at the retreat page. Not because you have to make a decision this second, but because sometimes the first step is simply allowing yourself to consider what support might look like. You might ask yourself, would something like this encourage me? Would something like this help me breathe? Would something like this help me reconnect with who I am and how I want to parent? And then think of one mom you know who might need this too. Send her the link. Invite her to look at it with you. Share this episode. Visit Calm Connection Parenting Facebook group, and you might even be able to interact with some of the others who are going. You don't have to do this alone. As we wrap up today, I want you to remember this. When a parent is supported, rested, and encouraged, they can approach their family and lead their home with more clarity, calm, and hope. Rest is not selfish. Support isn't weakness. Taking time to be restored is not just a luxury for moms or dads that have nothing else to do. Sometimes it's exactly what helps you come back to your family with more of who you were created to be. You're not on an island. You're on a journey, And there are other parents walking it too. Find your people, take the next step, and keep looking for that calm in the chaos. I hope today's episode gave you a breath of fresh air, maybe a bit of hope too. If this encouraged you, would you please take a moment to follow and leave a quick review? It helps this much-needed message of calm and connection reach more families. And if you're looking for additional resources, be sure to visit calmconnectionparenting.org and check out the podcast tab. There you'll find a variety of free resources waiting just for you. Until next week's episode, take a deep breath, grab that fresh cup of coffee, and remember, you've got this. And on the days you don't, well, we're in it together.